The air shifts before you smell it. A faint, sweet whisper of almonds where no almond tree grows, or the sharp tang of freshly cut grass in the middle of a concrete parking lot. Your nose twitches, sends a single urgent telegram to your brain, and then silence. The smell is gone, not because the chemical dissipated, because your olfactory nerve just surrendered. In a chemical attack, your sense of smell dies first. It shuts down to protect your brain from overload, and that silence is the most dangerous lie you will ever breathe through. Most people will inhale deeply, trying to catch the scent again, and in doing so, they flood their lungs with a toxin they can no longer detect. You will recognize the death of your nose as the starting gun, not the all clear. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for the final point. The one physical object already in your pocket that temporarily seals your airway and buys you 60 seconds of clean escape. The systemic lie is that you can smell your way out of danger, that if the air is toxic, your nose will scream and you'll simply run upwind. The truth is, many of the most lethal chemical agents are designed to attack your olfactory system first. And even the ones that aren't, the industrial spills, the chlorine clouds, the ammonia leaks, trigger a neurological phenomenon called olfactory fatigue. Your brain, overwhelmed by a constant odor, stops registering it. The smell doesn't leave. Your perception of it does. You become nose blind in under a minute, and that minute can kill you. 1. The physiology of olfactory fatigue. Your olfactory epithelium, deep in the nasal cavity, is a dense patch of receptor neurons dangling into the airstream. They bind to molecules and fire signals. But when a chemical is present in high concentration or binds aggressively, two things happen. First, the receptors physically saturate. Every available binding site is occupied. They cannot send a stronger signal. Second, the brain's sensory gatekeeper, the thalamus, begins to filter the constant incoming alarm. It decides the signal is background noise and mutes it. This is the same reason you stop smelling your own perfume 10 minutes after you put it on. But perfume doesn't dissolve lung tissue. A chemical weapon does. Most people sniff, detect something odd, sniff again, and then think it's gone. It is not gone. Their nose is offline. The air is still poison, and every breath is a dose. 2. The first whiff is your only warning. In a chemical release, the initial odor detection, if there is one, is your single most valuable piece of intelligence. It tells you the agent is present, it tells you something about its nature, and it tells you the direction. Chlorine smells like bleach and burns the nose immediately. Ammonia has a sharp urine-like sting. Phosgene, an industrial gas, smells like musty hay. Hydrogen sulfide, the sewer gas, reeks of rotten eggs. You get one good inhale of that warning before olfactory fatigue shuts down the signal. 1. After that, your nose is a traitor. It will tell you everything is fine while the concentration is actually climbing. Most people will stand in the plume, confused, sniffing repeatedly, waiting for the smell to come back so they can track it. You will take that first whiff, clamp down on your breath, and move immediately crosswind. You do not wait for confirmation. The first alert is the only alert. 3. The damp cloth barrier. You cannot hold your breath for long. Panic burns oxygen, and running forces you to gulp air. You need a temporary filter that slows the chemical assault on your olfactory receptors and your lungs. A cotton bandana, a t-shirt sleeve, a bra strap, anything made of natural fiber. Soak it with water. If water is not available, even a dry, dense cloth offers a small particulate barrier. But damp is better. The moisture traps water-soluble gases like chlorine and ammonia as they pass through the fabric. Place the damp cloth tightly over your nose and mouth and breathe through it. Shallow breaths. This is not a gas mask. It will not stop a nerve agent. It will, however, reduce the concentration hitting your olfactory receptors, buying you extra minutes before fatigue sets in, and it will buy your lungs a fractional protection against direct chemical burns. Most people will drop to the ground and cover their head, inhaling the heavier-than-air gases that pool in the low spaces. You will stand, damp cloth pressed to your face, and move perpendicular to the wind. 4. The 60-second escape window. The olfactory system fatigues in roughly 30 to 60 seconds of high concentration exposure. That is your escape window. After that, you are navigating blind to the chemical. You can no longer tell if the concentration is increasing, decreasing, or if you've walked out of the plume. You must, in that first minute of conscious detection, identify the wind direction and move crosswind, not upwind or downwind. Crosswind is the shortest path out of a narrow plume. Upwind is ideal, but often farther, and you may not know where the source is. Once you stop smelling the agent, do not assume you are safe. Continue moving for at least 2 minutes. Then, when you are confident you are clear, remove the cloth and take one cautious sniff. If the odor returns, even faintly, replace the cloth and keep moving. Most people will stop the moment the smell vanishes. Rest and breathe deep. The chemical cloud is a diffuse gradient. You may be standing in a pocket of lower concentration that is about to re-envelop you. Trust the wind, not your nose. The nose is a dead sensor. The wind is the only honest navigator. Here is the reality. The hazmat training videos and the safety placards will never print. Your sense of smell is not a chemical detector. It is a biological alarm that self-destructs under sustained assault. It exists to give you one clear, brief warning, and then it burns out to save the brain from sensory shock. In a world of industrial disasters, derailed train cars, ruptured chemical plants, and deliberate attacks, that single sniff is the difference between a survivor and a fatality. Protect the nose. Not by holding it, but by recognizing when it has gone mute. The silence in your sinuses is not safety. It is the sound of your olfactory nerve surrendering. Move when you can still smell, because when you can't, you are already swimming in the invisible. Now, drop a comment and tell me this. What is the single most common industrial chemical stored or transported within 10 miles of your home right now? A water treatment plant with chlorine, a fertilizer depot with anhydrous ammonia, a rail line with tanker cars. Write it down. Then look up that chemical's odor signature. Know the smell by description before you ever meet it in the air.